Salamander.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you may be. This is the Overnight. I'm DM Foss, the unevil non-robot, and with me so far tonight is Baron SVG. How's it going, Baron?
Feeling very evil and very robot-y.
So let's see who was out there so far. Well, Baron was out there. 2 Live Move, DJ Play Nice, G23, Gun Websites, and Steve D. That's everybody so far. If you're out there, say hey. Let me know you are out there. Oh, I remembered. At the bottom of the screen, there's a banner with the email address untechnicalfoss@gmail.com and a link. You can send in comments, suggestions, or pictures within reason. And in the description, there's a link for the Overnight Gilded server. It's a place to hang out, chit chat. You can share pictures, memes. And if you watch this in replay, leave a comment. Let me know anything we talk about, agree with, disagree with, think we left out. Let me know. I always read the comments, and they're always appreciated. I remembered everything today.
Good job.
Yeah. I still need to make a little intro part so then I can just attach them to the intros to make it even longer. But that way I don't forget. There's no real topic for tonight. Wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about. The assault weapons ban has passed the Senate in Washington State, and it's needs to go back to the House, the State House, when it was being discussed in the Senate. The Republicans threw a bunch of amendments to the bill, which all but one was rejected, and there was a conflict between in the language about importation. It conflicted with, I think, the magazine limit bill that was passed. So it has to go back to the House, and then they can amend that to fix that language so the two bills jive with each other. And then once they do that and vote on it, then it does it have to go back to the Senate, or right from there it goes once it's
Goes to
passed?
Inslee.
Then it goes to the governor, and once he signs it, it goes into effect. There's an emergency clause that was attached to it, so maybe another week, and then it'll be officially signed into Washington law until it's struck down sometime in the future. The Roy Munson's out there, and there was another bill that was passed today. The gun shop
Training
accountability.
requirement.
Yeah, gun shop. I think it was called the gun shop accountability, which allows people to sue the gun shop if a gun they sell is used improperly, which is, unconstitutional in several ways. The analogy that's usually given is, are you going to sue Ford if a drunk driver kills somebody driving drunk? No. The manufacturer still can be sued if there's a defective product they put out that injured somebody, but there is a law that protects them from, if somebody misuses a product they sell, they're not accountable for that. How's it going, G-Webs?
Pretty good. I'm working on my case against Reese's.
Uh-oh.
Reese's.
I don't care for Reese's.
Well, they made me fat, so.
Oh, no. So, it's kind of, it's not been unexpected that these would pass. Everybody knew that they would pass. But especially with the New York Rifle and Pistol Association ruling by the Supreme Court, these are clearly unconstitutional laws, which I believe they understood they were unconstitutional when they pushed them, even though in the hearings, one of the senators said that their lawyers believe they will pass constitutional muster. I do not believe they believe that, but I don't think they care. Woods is out there. How's it going, Woods?
So if you interpret things differently than the Supreme Court, or if you don't agree with the Supreme Court and you want to challenge it, then there's things you got to do. So, they're going to say, they're going to look at the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association from a different angle, and they're going to want to justify or, shore up that angle of that position. So the only way they can do that is with cases also. So, this is the way they see working to their end, I would imagine.
Yeah, they see it as a wrong decision. Like, imagine if the Supreme Court came out with an anti-2A decision for that.
Yeah,
we would
we'd
be
be
saying
like-
that was unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So they're just doing the same thing we would be doing.
I think I think there should be a parallel, if I don't know how much percentage, like if it should be more or less or the same, but like an effort to be made to create awareness is what I'm going to call it. Like remove the indifference and the unawareness and like the ignorance, without connotation, but the ability for them to use the unfamiliarity with guns or the delusional version of guns people have in their mind from movies. I think there's effort there. I think effort there is worthwhile, because they're only able to make these laws even happen when a bunch of people know nothing about guns or have like crazy misunderstandings about guns. So especially when something like this exists, like you guys have to do something in the states that get are vulnerable to ballot initiatives. It's because the only reason they're able to do that is because you got big cities where they're scared of guns and know nothing about guns.
I agree with you 100%. And, that's something I've
I don't
said.
know the answer, but think that's a strategy.
A lot in the past is most. All right, I think I'm back. Most people don't care about guns. Most Americans. There are more that do, but there's still, I think, the majority that don't or do not like guns. So it's those that don't care and don't know that we need to be speaking to. If I talk to G. Webster Barron, we all, believe in the Second Amendment and what it stands for and have fairly similar views on it. So it's, speaking with other gun owners, it's nice and there's benefits to that. But speaking to those who don't understand or, the people that don't know or don't care, that it's a way to help keep this from happening. It's yes, I 100% believe it's our constitutional right, so it should just be protected by the Constitution. That's all that should matter, but that's not the way it works out in politics. So by reaching out, getting to those that are uneducated or don't care, you can convince them why it's important. Then that keeps these from coming up. And X Adam 1, I don't know if I said hello to X Adam 1, saying quick ship me your assault weapons so you don't get in trouble. There is a grandfather clause in the assault weapons ban. So if you've got it, you can keep it, and you can, I believe, you can leave it to your kids, and they might be able to leave it to their kids, but then it stops there. It's something goofy like that. So if this were to stay, the law, eventually it would eliminate semi-automatic rifles.
You bought a violent gun, and that made your house violent. So now all your children are violent. So they're going to thirst for that gun, and they're going to be already made violent by that gun. But we're trying to stop the generational violence. So there's no way that their children could take possession of it, and that'll stop the generational violence that gun caused.
Yeah, and that's the other narrative that needs to be stopped is it's a healthcare crisis. It's not a healthcare crisis. It's a socio-economic crisis. That's where the majority of the shootings happen are in economically depressed areas
where they're looking for drug money in the black market, and they're fighting over it because they're not fighting over who's bringing tomatoes into town. They're not fighting over the library.
Yeah. So those are the issues that need to be addressed that are not being addressed. And trying not to get into a muddled mess or end up down a rabbit hole here.
Let's go down the rabbit hole. We don't have a topic.
There was a topic.
Nothing.
What's it? No, I wasn't sure what to talk about. So that's why it's a bunch of maybes. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about this. Maybe we'll talk about that. Who knows?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The answer is to get more people into 2A, and that's why I'm kind of concerned by this recent, what would you call it, a scare? People are concerned about certain groups joining 2A.
Yeah, that's.
I'm not liking that.
If it's a constitutional right, it's a constitutional right for everyone, whether you like them or not. If you deny somebody else their constitutional right, then you are doing exactly what you scream about other people doing to you. Whether you agree with somebody else's opinion, their politics, their lifestyle, does not matter. The Constitution applies to everyone, unless you're a felon. And even part of that should change. And what something Wood brings up is the 1143, the training requirements, where you have to go through a training class. They dropped they were going in Washington State. They were trying to pass a void card kind of deal where you have to get a license to even buy a gun. But that was taken out, but there's still the training requirement. But it does not go into effect until 2025. I believe they did that because Oregon passed the same thing, but it was supposed to go in immediately, but there was no infrastructure to handle it. So that was one of the reasons it got stayed immediately. So I think Washington pushed it back to 2025 to try and avoid that. I think it will still get stayed. And G23 mentions Washington gun law put out a new video about the stuff passing, and he made a prediction that it would pass today, late today, and that's kind of the way it happened. He's got his thumb on the pulse of what's going on here in Washington. But I wish I could remember who it was, if it was in one of the hearings or it was a politician that said the most gun crime is happening in the states with lax gun laws. And that's absolutely not true. You look at where the murder capitals are, like Chicago, they have the strictest gun laws and they have the most gun violence.
Wonder how they would respond to that.
Well, they blame.
You can't imagine how bad it'd be if we didn't have gun laws there, right?
The mental gymnastics is they blame the neighboring states, saying their lax gun laws is why we have problems. Well, if that's true, why do they not have the same problem you have?
Well, here's another question. Another way to challenge that is to say, okay, so Chicago's gun problem is because of Indiana. So is Chicago's cocaine problem because of Indiana? And they're going to say, oh, no, that's because of South America. So then you can restrict Indiana and say you can't have cocaine there, but they still can have cocaine in Chicago. So if you say you can't have guns in Indiana, you think they're just going to not have guns? Or are they going to get their guns from South America and their cocaine shipments? Right? So to suggest that if you restrict your neighbor, that you're not going to, to refuse your neighbor is somehow going to refuse you is crazy when they're getting other things through channels. It's burying their head in the sand, or it's like a willful ignorance to suggest that, oh, if we just put these tyrannical laws everywhere, or these laws that we think are so good everywhere, that's going to solve everything. Like, no, where does this cocaine come from? Like, it comes from outside the country. We're not what are you going to just take this concept and shove it to the whole world? Oh, we're worried about some deaths, so now let's remove all small arms from the whole world. That's crazy. So is that, I don't know, am I extrapolating it too big there? Like to suggest that?
Well, no, because
guns are trafficked. That why is it just guns that are trafficked from Indiana and not everything else that's trafficked?
I believe that that the whole goal is the elimination of guns, but it's because the government as an entity and the rich elites believe it's a threat to them. They don't care about any other consequences that arise from it. So that's
no, that's a good way to suggest. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. So maybe is that a good challenge, or do you think there is no challenge to somebody who's only worried about their thing and they're not worried about all those other extenuating circumstances?
I don't know. And these are just my opinions, and I'm just some jack off in the middle of the night talking to people who's hanging out with him. So But as I said, I do believe that once these work their way, it should be stopped at the Ninth Circuit, and then if not, once it works its way up to the Supreme Court. And there's already California has a couple cases. Their magazine limit and assault weapons, and then there's also some coming out of the east for what is it, the second district,
Delaware, wasn't it?
something like that. And so it's it's a slow process, and unfortunately, it needs to be a slow process, I believe, because when stuff the law needs to be slow, considered process. Otherwise, stuff spins out of control, and kind of the same reason that we're a representative republic and not straight democracy.
How slow you thinking, though? Like the NFA's almost been 100 years. Like that's
Well,
pretty fucking slow.
I don't know how many challenges have there been to the NFA.
Well, how many convictions have there been?
Well, it
Must
doesn't
be a
matter if
shitload.
they were convicted, but were they taken to the courts? And then also the makeup of the courts, because the court system is not supposed to be political, but it's, we'll say 80% political. I won't say every judge is political, but there's a lot of judges put in place to be political, where they judge on feelings and not 100% the law.
That can be good, like discretion. Like if a law is bad, letting somebody off.
Yes, but also discretion used in what I would consider the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
Works both ways.
because that was one of the bills that came up, the Senate hearing that I went to.
Mandatory sentencing.
Well, the God, what do you call it?
Or was it mandatory minimums?
No, on top of the sentence, they're added to the sentence automatically. I losing what the second thing's called. But so if there's a gun involved, then automatically there's extra charges put on top, and which I don't believe in. If you murder somebody, I don't care how you murdered them, whether you used a hammer, a rock, or a gun. To me, there's no difference.
I'm trying to think if there'd be any situation where that would make more sense.
Well,
like, if you burgle a house in the middle of the night and you're unarmed versus you brought a gun in, wouldn't that make intent that you might wanted to kill them?
Yeah, and the intent is to discourage the behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But, if whether it was a gun, again, if somebody breaks into a house, whether if you want to say armed, fine. But whether it was a knife, a gun, a tennis racket.
Yeah, my mind, weapon is weapon.
My cutting wit, it doesn't matter. And I can't. For some reason, I was even thinking about this earlier today, and I cannot remember the name for this stinking thing. Vanessa Kitty's out there.
And in answer to her question, we cannot file a lawsuit until it's actually a law.
Yeah, so as soon as it's signed, there'll be a lawsuit. They're just waiting.
I wouldn't mind being getting in on that lawsuit, to be honest. Pretty fucking pissed about this.
I would contact.
I don't have any damages, though. Like, if they'd cut up my M1 rifle after this passed, fuck yeah, I'd be suing the state. You owe me a pre-Pearl Harbor M1 rifle.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not sure who's waiting.
Probably Sporting Systems.
Yeah, I would think Sporting Systems.
Arrow.
I would think the Second Amendment Foundation would be involved with it.
Oh, I just meant plaintiffs
Yeah.
wise. But yeah, I don't know what org would probably them. Silent Majority Foundation, maybe.
Yeah, I watched somebody was talking about them. Was it Washington?
William
Gunn?
Kirk, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't familiar with them until I watched his video on them.
That's not the one that Sporting Systems is created.
Well, Sporting Systems is a part of the Washington Civil Rights Association now. I think he's kind of heading it now.
Oh, heading it now, but didn't create it. I got the
No,
impression
no.
that it's heading it because he created it. Okay.
No,
I'm not sure about that.
Because I hadn't seen him associated with it until just recently.
He just wasn't like in the Discord server.
Oh, okay. So he got angry enough that he stepped up front and he's taking charge.
Yeah, I think he realized somebody needed to step up to plate
Is Sporting was
because no one else was.
For those who might not know, Dan from Sporting Systems, it's a gun shop in Vancouver, Washington, and he's been active trying to fight these anti-gun bills and stuff. He goes up and testifies and stuff, and now his we played his testimony, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
I still got it if you want to listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fuck, I don't have it.
Oh, okay.
It got deleted.
There's a video of it. It's only like 3 minutes long or something.
Yeah, I got it, but it's just not on the StreamYard. I got to get it again.
Yeah, I've got all my. I don't know if I have the clips on this computer.
It's uploading. Might take a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm throwing in the video clip so we can plug it whenever you want.
That's right.
Almost there.
Alrighty. But there's lots of states. Well, there's a few states that are going through this, and it's kind of something that we talked about a couple years ago. Where it's 2 states of the 2A. There's 26 states that have either constitutional or permitless carry. And so just over half of the states. So it's trending upwards, but then the pushback.
I like to say well over half the state.
The majority of the states. So, that's what I think the big push on all these really bad gun laws being thrown is their pushback. And I thought when Dan testified for in the Senate, state Senate. This is a way to show your anger, but not be completely disrespectful. Is, I think, a good way to do that.
So much. Next up is Daniel.
Daniel Mitchell, Vancouver, Washington. I plan to share a well-articulated legal argument here today, but I've watched this committee ignore logic for years, so I'll speak a plain truth. For Gregor, who can't replace his barrel because the part will be illegal. For Ryan, Brian, Jeff, Ari, Scott, Heidi, Katie, Jeremy, Anton, BZ, and thousands of others whose careers will be legislatively exterminated. For citizens unable to comply with the federal pistol brace ruling, for SBRs awaiting federal approval that cannot be delivered, for those who cannot retrieve their pawned items, those who want the most popular rifle in the country for any lawful purpose, those who wanted a small pistol for target shooting, now banned because it has a threaded barrel, for those already purchased an item but it can't be delivered due to a 10-day delay, for those shop owners who hold tens of millions of dollars of inventory that will be illegal to sell. Under 1639, it's illegal to sell SARs to a non-resident. We're in federal court on that one too. I'm speaking for our grandkids to preserve their constitutionally protected rights. The state has filed amicus briefs in federal cases nationwide. The state's argument is losing in all of those actions. Is there a miraculous new argument laying in wait? Your rush to be wrong, to be struck down in federal court here is strong. I know you need the photo ops, the virtue signals, and the victory dances. It's palpable. Oh, the press coverage you're going to receive is going to be so exciting. As federal New Jersey Judge Renee Baum said directly to the New Jersey Senate President 2 months ago, you should have known this was going to be challenged, done due diligence, and been better prepared under the direction of NYSERPA v. Bruin. Wow. You'll get your moment in the spotlight, but we will persevere. Every federal court in the country is showing it at this moment. We'll be back here on the steps of the Capitol. No cameras, no fanfare, no busloads of moms when this law is set aside by the federal court and your oath of office violation is exposed. I won't expect a congratulations cards, but until then, I'll see you in court.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of pro-gun Washingtonians that parrot that feeling.
A lot of them aren't as polite about it.
No,
At least not the ones online.
Yeah, it's understandable. I need to remember that the way you present yourself to the public matters. If you go off on an F-bomb rant, you're going to lose a lot of people, and which is your right to do. I'm not saying you can't do this or you can't do that, but those who, that middle that I talked about earlier, that either don't care or are not on the pro-gun side, will tune you out immediately. So that's something to keep in mind, I think. Tara Smith's Kitchen's out there.
Yeah, I had a gun shop local to me say one of the stupidest things I've heard in a long time. They said they weren't going to sell to any liberals anymore after this. Like, what? You're going to turn away pro-gun liberals that want to buy stuff at your shop? That's smart.
Yeah, that's, again, that's... Yeah,
You're free to shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're not, I don't believe personally that you're helping the cause by doing that or helping yourself. But,
Exactly.
They choose to run their business that way. There might be, depending on how they do it, there might be some laws that conflict with that, but I don't know for sure. I just think it's the wrong approach.
There were some other companies that did that, didn't they? Like websites where you'd go to their website and it'd say, "Did you vote for Joe Biden?" And if you clicked yes, you weren't allowed to buy from their store.
I
remember this?
Yeah, I vaguely remember something about that, but I don't know.
That was
I
that
don't
one ammo supplier did that for reviews or whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah. Was it Fennec that won't sell to the police anymore? I think it was Fennec,
Allegedly.
but they're free to do it if they wish to.
I don't see the logic behind it, though.
Well,
Like if you're turning away half the country, you making that much money, you can just be like,
Their
half the
customers
market,
may
we
have-
don't want them.
Their customers ain't half the whole country though, so they're just looking at it as a virtue signal to lean into that. So, they're doing it for views. They're not doing it because they think it's a financial thing. They're doing it for views. I need marketing or I need attention to my channel, and I don't know how, or my show, I guess, or what am I trying to say? My store. So instead of paying for it, I'll just say something outlandish and get views. They're either doing it intentionally or not intentionally, but yeah, they're not looking at the whole country as being their customer. They're like, we're in business for these customers. So
Potential
not all.
customer.
well, but
Instead
they're
of
looking
turning
for-
customers away, they should be trying to get other people interested in 2A.
Yeah, but that's like trying to put something on them. But that's like, if it was every gun shop, I'd be concerned. If you'd have to, if there's only one or two that are doing it, then that's just a dumbass decision. That's like putting your gun shop, I don't know, in a dumb location or something, or doing a dumb strategy with marketing or something. That's what I look at it as. I don't look at it as a trend of the industry or nothing. It's not like Ruger has a big campaign or something. You're getting yelled at for not reading the comments, I guess.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could find the comments.
What comments? Our comments. We have been reading them.
I thought that's what he meant. I guess he's talking about the comments to the.
Yeah,
Something
I thought he was talking about Dan's comments on Dan's. I don't know. Explain yourself, G23. Justify your statement.
He's going to tell us to do our own research
Look it
on
up.
what his comment meant.
I don't know. Can you see if you can find those, Baron?
Find what?
I don't know. Find something. I tell you to do your job, but I don't pay you, so it's not your job.
And I could start reading terrible comments on a random video if you want. I could do that. I mean, this comment's calling for beheading of all representatives that voted for this. That type of thing. This one's in all caps. It's like 4 paragraphs long.
So he was talking about the online comments that you were talking about.
Oh, he means, he means what I was reading about people's reactions to this. Might get the channel a strike. They were pretty spicy.
Oh, wow. No Wednesday chat this week. I have to work. So hopefully the Wednesday after that, we'll have our regular Wednesday chat.
Where do we file complaints and refund requests for? And two.
Oh, they all go to gizzardgary@gmail.com.
That guy's getting a piece of my mind.
I'd like to see the comments that got held for review on this. If these are the ones that squeaked through. Good God.
Can you censor them? Is there anything you can read if you censor them?
I don't really want somebody clipping my audio on some of these. They're bad. Just go read the comments yourself on reaction videos. It's out there. I don't know how long the comments will stay up.
Well, see, YouTube is a private company, so the First Amendment doesn't apply. And then they are a platform that publishes, so they do what they want. Homeless in America, how's it going? Saying hello from Everett, Washington.
Have they heard the news?
I don't know. We've been talking about the assault weapons ban that passed. The Senate needs to go back to the House to be adjusted and then voted on for the adjustments and then sent to the governor to sign, which then it will immediately go into effect. So in probably another week or so. And the
deadline's like what? Is it the 15th?
I'm not sure.
Or the 20th? Something like that. They have until sometime in April. There. That'll probably be right.
Yeah, they said they heard about it. Yeah.
So I don't know about you. I think this is an excellent opportunity to expand 2A knowledge in Washington State. Now that everyone will be affected by the same law, sometimes people don't care about a right until it gets taken away.
Well, there's
going to be a lot of pissed off people.
That happened with when 1639 was passed here in Washington, where with the other social tumult that was happening at the same time, there were more people going to the gun shops that were not familiar with gun laws, that were surprised about the background checks and having to wait. It unfortunately wasn't enough where it made a huge difference because the Democrats won
they were
more
already
seats.
Elected.
Yeah. But, they're hopefully, I don't know if this will make a difference or because when you look at like the neighborhood app, it's an app for neighborhoods. The past couple of weeks, there's been a lot about gun violence and misinformation and stuff. And then even where somebody thought they heard a gunshot, and then you get a whole bunch of people respond like, I heard it too. It was over here. It was over there. It was this many. It was that many. And, when a lot of times could just be, a car backfiring. I had my bike.
That was probably me.
After one chip challenge. They I had one time at our old house, I was working on my motorcycle, and it backfired, and had a neighbor come out because he thought it was a gunshot to see who was shooting outside. Like, no, it's just my bike. But there's, and that's,
So he thought he heard a gunshot and he came out of his house.
yeah,
That's
you know, so it's people that are afraid, but they don't know what they're afraid of. Honestly, don't know what they're afraid of. They're, thought they heard something, they don't know what it is, assumed it was a gun, and then panic.
What did he come out with? Like a lead pipe to defend himself against whoever had a gun?
No, just came out. But there's, there people will shoot up in the hills, and you'll see comments about that. Oh, somebody was shooting. Well, if it's their property, they can, especially out in the county, out of city limits. Well, and then they'll still complain. Well, I don't like it. Well, it doesn't matter if you like it. It's completely legal. Well, it's inconsiderate. But it doesn't matter if you think it's inconsiderate. It's completely legal. And then it's like, well, they could be shooting at this or could be shooting at that one. But you don't know. What they're doing is completely legal. Tara Smith said she'll be putting crash bars on her bike tomorrow. May do it live. Don't know what I'm cooking yet. Yeah, at least if you don't do live, make sure you video it or get pictures of what you're doing. She's got a Harley. Well, she's got a couple Harleys, but she's fixing up one of her Harleys to do some traveling and camping. And she's got Tara Smith's Kitchen where she does cooking videos. And she used to do some gun content, but is kind of doing more cooking stuff now. And Chasing Ghosts, which is the motorcycle side. She's kind of videoing, documenting what's going on with her bikes.
So you ready for the best milk product bracket?
Yeah, Baron's the milkman.
Will it be a lactose tolerant bracket or?
We have some low lactose options on the bracket. Some Parmesan cheese. Extra sharp cheddar. That type of stuff.
For when we do the next Wednesday night, was thinking maybe doing an Ask the AI, the G-Webs, if we can ask your AI different questions to see how it answers.
Well, I'm definitely down for that. Yeah.
We can, and it'll be open to the chat. Whoever's out in the chat can ask questions. So, how do I be a billionaire?
Then we're logging into somebody else's AI because I'm asking my AI weird questions. But yeah, we can definitely ask an AI that stuff.
G23 was asking, can he bring his firearm to Washington? You can bring it as long as you're not transferring it to me. You can bring it and take it back with you.
Are we sure about that?
No, but what do I care? He'll get in trouble, not me.
Because I know the amendment that they put on it was for military people that got transferred into the state would be exempt from the law. I don't think it applies to just people coming into the state.
The way that's worded, I would not believe somebody visiting would count as somebody. You're not being a resident, so it should not apply.
I'm not sure I'd trust my freedom on that.
I'm willing to trust his freedom on it.
Yeah. He'll be fine in jail.
Maybe have somebody else test it out so that we don't lose a Saturday show.
Invite Paul Harrell up. He doesn't do live shows.
Well, that would turn into probably a Rambo situation. Like,
Sure. I will be exonerated.
Tara said, I walked out in the front yard, shot a snake with a 45. No one cared. Lived in a subdivision in the country outside Houston. Houston has gunshot tracking system, county versus city. Well, plus you're using a 45, so it's America's caliber.
When you shoot the 45, people don't get scared; they get more comfortable.
So G23 is bringing up a point. He still owns property in Washington. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, but it's not his residence is Oregon.
You let us know how this goes, G23.
Since when have you cared about the laws of man? Yeah, but
How can he be a dual state resident? Like, does he vote here?
You can't be. You have to be a resident of a state, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't talk about this. You're going to get yourself in trouble.
Watch him be like, yeah, I vote in both states.
Oh, yeah, I did. After seeing the assault weapons ban pass, last time I was at the gun shop, I was there Tuesday. I was looking at lowers, and I thought, well, I've got enough on me. I could buy another lower. And that's like, nah, I've been looking at these knives for a while. I'll get a knife. I maybe should have got the lower instead of the knife.
How many lowers is too many lowers?
Never enough lowers.
Could be.
With the question, how many is too much? When it affects your quality of life, that's when it's too much. Other than that, do what you want. Roy Munson's out there. He said you can only vote in one state, but you can have IDs for both. So G23 has a bunch of fake IDs for different states.
Yeah, so like when you fill out a 4473 and they say, what's your primary residence? Right? You got to put down the place that's your primary residence. Am I wrong?
I believe so.
Otherwise, you're committing a felony on a 4473. G23 might want to stop talking.
Yeah.
Have to take down the live show after this. I have
I
not
do-
bought any guns. I've just bought parts, a lot of parts, which might have been a mistake considering people are saying you can buy parts now.
Well, that was one thing that was confusing is can you, will you be able to buy parts? Because it looked like when these bills were proposed that it would ban even parts. But I still might, after we finish the chat, panic buy a AR-10 barrel because the assault weapons ban bans threaded barrels.
And flash hiders.
Yeah, so I might pick those up here. Oh,
Did it ban the AR-10 by name or just the AR-15?
I would have to go back and look to see what was exactly in the bill.
You got an upper for it?
No.
You probably need one.
Yeah, but I don't have enough for all of the upper. But that was the problem. That's why I was going to wait. But I thought, well, I'll get a barrel because then I'll have a threaded barrel already. And then we'll work the rest out from there.
Good news. It does not ban the AR-10 by name.
Yeah, but what about the rest of the bill?
Well, I just mean, it's like they banned the AR-15 by name, so you shouldn't be allowed to buy like a upper receiver for an AR-15. But since they didn't ban the AR-10 by name, you should be able to build a compliant AR-10. So they should still be able to sell you components for a compliant AR-10, if that makes sense. So if you got your barrel, you'll be able to get your receiver later. And your shit, they might ban the handguard. Right? Fuck this law.
Yeah, well, God damn it. I'll just,
You'll just have an
okay.
AR-10 with a naked barrel.
I'll just order a complete upper.
Exactly. Find one with a payment plan.
Yeah. I'll just have to, tell my wife, hey, guess what I did?
Don't be mad at me. Be mad at our representatives.
What?
made me do it.
Yeah. When you're married to an accountant, they know what you're spending.
What if you sell something to buy something?
Yeah, but I'm really bad about selling something.
Sell something you can buy back. Like revolver. They're not going to ban that.
It's not the point. It's mine.
Oh, okay. Find a magic genie lamp. Rub on that a few times. Yeah, I got nothing for you. I could loan you money. Would that be a straw purchase? What does that mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Could we do a fundraiser? Buy FOSSA upper. We'll pay you back in patches. Send them out later.
Well, that's the thing. I have enough to kind of cover this, but I set aside.
Yeah, it's spoken for.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just have to juggle some things, use some creative accounting, and make this work.
This is when it pays to be a shill, right? right before a ban. You're like, I need my sponsors to ship me some stuff.
No, because right before a ban like this, they can't get enough orders. They definitely don't want to give away nothing. Like they're having trouble filling orders, probably. Right? It's all hands on deck. Should we go bigger? But we're about to be, well, they're probably going to stay in business. I guess they just won't get any orders from Washington anymore. But they can still. Or are they going to run the manufacturers out of state?
They're trying to run everything out of state. So, because some of the firearms or gun shop accountability stuff kind of applies to some of the gun shops like Arrow, because they sell, you can go to Arrow and buy stuff. They have a shop. So it's, I don't know. Tara Smith said her AR-10 cost $1,400 to build before the scope 5 years ago, and Pink Panther said if you rub on a guy named Genie, maybe he'll buy you an AR-10.
There you go.
Oh, I'll warm my hands up.
Pull a Yankee. Start giving out $1 handies. You'll have that in no time.
No, I respect my time. I'm charging more than $1.
He pays them $1 to do it, right? He's not making any money. He's giving it away.
I don't know what he does in the privacy of his own public bathroom. That's his business.
I didn't watch his show tonight if he had one. Did either of you? How's he taking this?
No,
No
I
big deal.
haven't. I didn't see it.
Well, I don't watch Yankee shows.
I would think he would, just because it's, everybody knew this was coming down. It wasn't a surprise or anything that it, he probably just said that, if it passed during, sometime before or during his show, that, it passed, it'll get struck down.
He probably just complied and bought some lowers, registered some SBR lowers for free.
It's possible. He buys them at like 10 at a time, doesn't he?
I don't know. I know he has some, but he doesn't build ARs. So
He's got one he's been building for like, 7 years now?
yeah, he's just got them to have them. But I tried to do that once. Bought one just to have, but I cannot just have a barrel lower, so I had to build it. And when I built my first one, and I bought a second upper, it's like, okay, well, the ways these are designed, you can pop them on, pop them off, so I only need one lower, and then I can just switch out the upper that I. And yeah, that didn't last very long. It's like, well, shit,
nice.
I've got the upper, I might as well build a lower.
Right? It's going to get damaged if I don't put a lower on it.
And then it was, well, sure, this is 5.56, but what if I want 300 blackout? I want 300 blackout. Let's build a 300 blackout. Well, I've got 300 blackout. 6.5 Grendel. 300 blackout is good for up close and for being quiet. But what if I want to shoot farther? I need a 6.5 Grendel.
It almost sounds like a collecting problem.
No, it's not collecting. They each serve a purpose. There's a reason for each gun other than just collecting. I've got the 22. If for some reason I needed to hunt small game, I've got a 20. I've got my Marlin 60 for that. If I've got 5.56 just for general purpose. If I need, if I need to reach out longer, I've got 6.5 Grendel.
How about an AK for the apocalypse?
Well,
You got that?
no, because I'm not communist, so I don't have any AKs. No offense, G-Webs. But no, so that was kind of the rule that I'm following. Is each gun has I bought each gun for a specific purpose, not just to collect. It's been tough now and again to figure out what the purpose of that gun is, but each one does have a purpose. There's a couple that I have that are just for when I take people to the range. Like the 380 EZ is for people that haven't shot, start them out on the 380 EZ. And the 450 Bushmaster, if they start cloning dinosaurs, I've got something to handle that.
Do they really need to clone dinosaurs or just keep making bigger chickens?
Well, the problem is when the bigger the chickens get, the fatter they get, they can't move anymore.
So they need to strengthen up the bone structure. See where this is going, right? They're like, well, the bone structure's bigger. We can make them fatter. Pretty soon we're going to have like 3 foot tall chickens.
Isn't that
They're gonna
just
start-
an ostrich? Isn't that just an ostrich?
They'll start growing teeth again.
You end up with the chicken from Family Guy.
Yep.
G23 said Foss 300 blackout can ring steel at 300 yards. I've done 200 yards. That's because that's the longest range that I belong to.
Yeah, 300 blackout is ballistically very similar to 7.62 by 39.
I kind of say it about every round and every gun is it's kind of a fun round. I enjoy shooting it, but I enjoy shooting everything. Except 22 handguns. I don't enjoy 22 handguns.
Which 22 handguns have you shot?
Ruger Mark series? Those are fun.
Now I got to think. Have I only shot one?
They
'Cause
have
I've got
super nice sights, super nice triggers, super accurate. Like if you're not just shooting like paper, but if you're shooting objects, like go shoot cans with one, they're a blast.
I was thinking I've shot revolvers, but I might not even. My P17 might have been the only handgun. I mean, one of my favorite guns overall to shoot is my Marlin, my little 22 rifle. I love that thing.
They don't even make that anymore. It's a collector's
Don't they?
item. No. Marlin got bought by Ruger. They stopped making them.
Oh,
Because
Probably.
Ruger does the 1022. Why are they going to make
Yeah.
a Model 60?
1022 is I think that was the first gun I ever shot was in high school was a 1022.
I'd be very surprised if they start doing the Model 60 again. Because it's a direct competitor.
Yeah.
You're right now they're only doing 4570s, 3030s, and maybe a 44 mag. But they're still pumping out the lever actions at the moment.
Yeah, with everything I said about I'm not collecting, I want a lever gun. And that's one that just because I want it. Because they're cool. Someday I will have that. And then want a 45, which for handguns really breaks the rules for me. That
ACP.
yeah, it because like for carry guns, I only carry hammer, double action, single action with a hammer. That's what I carry. And the 45, I kind of stayed away from it because the MOS is slightly different with the, I know with training and blah, 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 blah. But because of the safety, everything else I carry is exactly the same when you pull it and shoot it. And the 45 is that one thing that would be different. But I
Could
still
get
want
one
one. In,
A revolver.
no, I want a 1911.
Okay, so not just 45. You want a 1911.
Yeah, yeah. That's one that ever since I was a kid, it's that it's an iconic American handgun. I've always wanted one.
Just don't carry it.
Well, that was kind of the other thing is anything I have to be able to carry, because then that makes it fit somewhat within the arbitrary rules that have been set down.
Do you carry that 22?
Well, the 22 is a little different, and I can explain it to you after the chat. But
Get a 1911 and 22.
no.
And then buy
Same
a
reason
45
I won't
barrel
get.
for it.
I wouldn't get one in 9. The 45, 10 millimeter, 38 super to me are the 3 calibers of a 1911 should be chambered in.
What about 22?
No,
No good?
unless it's a child model made for children, then okay.
It's for assassins. What are you talking about? Put a silencer on it.
Pink said the Heritage Arms single action carbine was a blast to shoot. And G23 said get a 45 Colt. I go
Lever,
back
I'm
and forth. Yeah, that's what I figured. I go back and forth on what caliber, because I would like to have it in 357 or 44, because then that goes with a revolver that I have. So, I would have a matching revolver and lever gun, but also would like 4570 just because it's, big and loud, and I do enjoy big and loud. So if I were to get one, I don't know what I would get it. And then there's also if I go down to the gun shop and tell them, order me this, if they had something right there in some caliber, it's 50/50 or whether I would just buy. That's why I don't have one. I've gone to the shop a couple times to buy one, and then they have something else in the shop, and I like that, I'll get that, instead of getting the
Lever action.
lever gun. Yeah. Yeah, but there's lots of things I'd love to have, but there's more things than money I have. So, unfortunately, there's other things more important. So these are things that I, will put away a little money here and there. And then once I save up, then, buy something.
Good news is they probably won't ban lever actions in the next few years.
I thought about that when this is being proposed. It's like, oh, fuck them. I'll just go get a lever action.
Because like the new Marlin 4570, it's got a threaded barrel, but it's not a semi-auto. So it doesn't fall under the ban.
I've got a friend at work. He's been looking for, what's the kind of tactical one with the threaded barrel? Forget which one that is.
By Henry or Marlin?
I think it was Was it Henry? But he
Like
can't
the
find
X
one.
series, something like that.
Yeah, can't find one, and he called Henry, and they gave him all the distributors or all the shops that carry it in Washington, and so he ended up calling Bass Pro, got on a waiting list, and they said, when it comes in, you're on the list, but there's a couple people in front of him on the list. It's really popular rifle. So he can't remember if he said they told him, yeah, in 2 or 3 months we should get one in. Misha Ann's out there. Good morning. And happy Easter. I guess it's Easter, isn't it?
Yep. I don't think I've ever back ordered a gun. Have you?
No, I can't. Maybe.
I've ordered them.
Yeah, I ordered my very first gun, the HKP 30. Went to the gun shop, had them order it, and then ended up having to wait. It was it was probably 2 or 3 months. But this was kind of the beginning of the big kerfuffle. So there was, a run on guns. So it took a while.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, you're talking about 1639, right?
Yeah.
I didn't understand the run on them because it didn't ban anything.
Well,
Why were people freaking out so bad that they needed to get them?
Anytime there's a rumbling of trouble.
So there's 80% in the middle that don't understand and they're speculating or reacting. So that's where they get profit. That's why the people that exploit it from both sides dig it when this stupid volleyball game happens. They bounce the ball back and forth.
And then once a few people start to panic buy, there's a reaction where, well, people are panic buying. These are disappearing. I need to panic buy so I can get some. And,
Yeah, like, oh, I go shooting every weekend with the grandkids. So, now everybody's buying ammo. I got to go in there and buy ammo because it's almost going to be gone. And now that leads to more people being scared because the shelves are empty. And, bring everybody to there's scarcity now.
Then I can't buy 22 long rifle ammo for 2 years.
yeah, and it's like I'm paying $2 a round for 30-06.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The goddamn bacon's out there. GTP Productions. Good morning. Happy Easter. And back when the whole cough run was going, run on guns and stuff, I would still go up to Cabela's. I go up there once, maybe twice a month. And I would go up there to see if they had anything. And if they did, then, I might buy a box or two of something. And, they're inflated prices, but just to keep, so I was keep buying stuff. And I try not to fall into the panic buying. I have anger bought stuff, when Washington's pushing the anti-gun laws. There's stuff I have bought because I got annoyed. It's like, ban this? Well, fuck you. I'll buy this. Mike McClune's out there. G23 said 20,000 people in Oregon are waiting on the list for 4473s. That's why there are When politicians are pushing like in Washington, where the background check has to be completed before a gun shop can release a gun. Right now, there's a 10-day limit in Washington State where if the background check doesn't come back within 10 days, a shop can legally release a firearm. Not all shops will. It's up to each shop, but a shop legally can. And the reason that's important is the state can indefinitely delay if they don't want anyone to have handguns. And that's why that limit exists. That's why it's important. It keeps the state from saying, well, we're backlogged. Nobody gets a gun.
So I'm a bit confused. I thought they got a stay on their implementation. Who's doing the background checks? The state, not the FBI? Did they already have that?
For Washington State, the FBI doesn't do our background checks. There is.
Yeah, but I meant Oregon.
Oh, I don't know if Oregon, how theirs works exactly, but like ours runs through the state patrol. So maybe theirs is something similar where it's run through their state. So it's backlogged there, not the FBI.
Oregon State Police.
Yeah.
Well, the solution is to hire more cops, right? Shit.
Yeah, Misha said, people follow the leaders. Someone mentions anything ban-wise. Stuff flies off the shelf. Small pistol primers are still elusive. I still haven't seen any in the shop. I know you can find them online.
I told people here in Washington on our show, I said, if you had something you were going to buy and it's banned by this shit, you better get it now. There's people that are trying to get shit right now. They're going to have to wait 10 business days. They're not going to get it.
G23 said Oregon shops can release after 3 days if they want to. I know, like the Cabela's, which means probably Bass Pro also, they won't release a gun until the back. I got into it with them over that before, and which I had got upset enough where I said I will never buy a gun from them again, and that was until I saw the Ruger Super Blackhawk in stainless, and had to have it, so I bought another gun from them. But Misha said hire more cops and staff with a budget that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic when I said hire more cops.
Tara said she stopped competition shooting during the cough to save her ammo. And GTP said, can someone give me an example of a gun shop that has released a firearm before they got the nod from the overlords? There's a reason I shop at the shop that I do. East County Guns in Elma. Awesome customer service, and they'll release our guns. It's a 10-day for Washington. After 10 days, they'll release that gun. That's why I go there.
I know a shop local to me. They'll break down your assault weapon, quote unquote, into an upper and a lower and give it to you the same day. Not sure that's legal, but good on them.
Yeah. Yeah, probably don't talk about that.
Oh, I didn't mention the name.
So yeah, he said it never happened. So there are shops that will do it, and that's why I shop there. I used to shop at one of their other stores, but their other stores aren't as great as it used to be. So I moved to one of their other locations that is still great. East County Guns, Elma, Washington.
I don't think he liked our examples because they weren't exactly what he asked for.
Oh.
Without self-incriminating, I have seen it happen. Is that good enough?
G23 said, yes, I pick up my new tools on Monday, and the 4473 is still waiting. Who?
I'm muted. I've seen this happen. There's the blue background DM Foss patch,
I like that.
right? Then there's the black background DM Foss patch. So then I was playing with that around a little bit, and then did the glow in the dark thread version on tan. So that
How's that? How's the
Huh?
thread?
Yeah, that's the all except for the black. That's all glow in the dark thread. And then all glow in the dark thread on a gold background.
Ooh, fancy.
So what? 4 different versions of DM Foss patches at this point.
Pretty sweet. How long does it take to... You did one of those live.
Sitting there.
What is it, about 15 minutes to print a patch?
Probably less than that for these, but yeah, something like 20 minutes.
That's pretty cool.
You don't have a patch panel. You can just find a fat burrito, set them on there. You can use this for scale. If you had a large size burrito, that's about how big they are in comparison. Oh, shit. There they are. Oh, they make a little fat burrito stretch all over the place when you put them on there. Sorry about that.
And if you have a beard, the patches with Velcro will stick to your beard.
So the way you get one of them, if somebody wants to get one of them, is use the. I have to set it up first, but we'll have the code over at the Gear website store. Anybody can get one free. Buy something over at the store. Use that code. You get one for free.
You mean at this store? GearWebsites.com for all your 2A related patches, stickers, t-shirts, web design, consulting, web consulting, you name it, he can probably help you out. GearWebsites.com.
Oh, and thanks for making those commercials.
Oh, it's no problem. It's fun for me. I enjoy it. Is anything you want to plug, G-Webs?
No, thanks for that. I'm going to make a code right now. But should I make it FAS, FAAS, or DMFAAS?
Probably just FOSS would make it easier.
That's what I was thinking. So I'm going to make it FAAS, and then it'll be free shipping is the code, but then that'll make me know to put a free patch in there for whatever. And we'll make it, I'll talk with FOSS about if he wants to make it like a random thing or one month it's this one month's another. So we'll play around with that a little bit. But thanks for the commercials. Appreciate it. And the plugs.
Baron, any evil robot plugs you want to make?
I do have one plug. It's unfortunate. Due to health deterioration, I guess you would call it, I am no longer able to keep making these shows.
I'm sad. Makes me sad.
It's been a good run.
Oh, well, I appreciate everybody out there that's been in the live chat that's been commenting, and those who were watching out there but didn't comment. I appreciate you too. Don't be afraid to speak up. If it's just to say hi or, to join in the conversation. And if those that watch this in replay, again, leave a comment. Let me know that you're watching. I always read the comments, and they're always appreciated. And again, there's no chat on Wednesday. I got to work. I got to make that monies. And so no chat until the Wednesday after that. So I hope everybody has a good Easter and good rest of the day.
You still here? It's over. Go home. No.